Start recording. Avengers Doomsday trailer breakdown from new Rockstars. Let's see the breakdown. I see the trailer and put the video on YouTube in my channel. So let's see what I missed or I need to know.
Here's what happened shot by shot in the Avengers Doomsday
Copy.
trailer shown exclusively at San Diego Comic-Con, and what the Latvian runes on Downey's jacket translate to. Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Eric Voss, and this is a breakdown of the Avengers Doomsday trailer I saw in Hall H at San Diego Comic-Con. Yes, after Marvel released the public trailer on Monday, during Saturday's Marvel Studios Hall H panel in San Diego, the studio showed the 6,500 attendees in the room a new exclusive Dr. Doom-centered trailer that gives the clearest sense of what this movie is, at least to me. And the more I think about it, the more I am haunted by what I think this movie will be. So I'm going to break down all of my nightmares for you here in this video. I honestly met so many amazing fans this weekend at Comic-Con, and a special thanks to the ones who chose to wear gear from our merch store, nerdriot.shop. I want to shout out Andrew, who got our Who's Who shirt, Open Your Eyes, and Spidey design. You can find all of our designs and support New Rockstars directly at nerdriot.shop. The trailer opens with a shot of Dr. Doom on his throne. I'm pretty sure it's the same throne that we saw recreated at the Shanghai event a few weeks ago, but I'm pretty sure this one was glowing golden, not silver, and so are the steps leading up to it. I also remember seeing the broader floor of this throne room glowing in an interesting shade of green as golden sunlight streams through the stained glass.
So it's type for magic, like Wanda, Scarlet Witch, or Doctor Strange. Maybe both, I don't know.
Windows. Yes, the stained glass windows that we've seen throughout the Doomsday marketing. It is officially here, part of the backdrop of the Doomsday throne room. And now we hear the voice of Vanessa Kirby as Susan Storm saying, Victor has always been the smartest guy in the room. He used to be different. So right away, we are learning that Victor Von Doom was a friend to the Fantastic Four.
So, is he smarter than Richard, her husband? Because she said the smartest guy in the room. So I will assume he will be in this movie. I mean, not in comic. He will be the smartest.
Of the 828
smarter than Richard.
Universe, Reed, Sue, Johnny, and Ben. He was at some point their buddy, their pal, someone they might have had a falling out with, but either way, not someone they expected to be doing the things he's now doing in this movie, and someone that they didn't expect would now take this masked wizard sorcerer form. You know, like a college friend that they're like, oh, dude, it's been a minute. And from that, I think, are now two ways we can reinterpret the post-credit scene of Fantastic Four First Steps.
You, just you, building your app on base 44.
One reinterpretation is that Sue was really seeing their old friend having a moment with her son and was just alarmed to see that new form that he took. And Franklin touching his face could have just been the kid seeing a face that used to be familiar to this family, now having undergone some scarring or deformity. But another way to look at it is based on the new Latvian witch costumes and masks that we were seeing all weekend. I mean, we might have to look more closely at this Latvian witch costumes and masks.
But I think it's more feminine clothes. Not for Doom, but who knows? Why? Because this belt and this
masks that we were seeing all weekend. I mean, we might have to look more closely at the smoothness and lack of rivets and ridges and edges that Doom's mask has. So actually, maybe it was the green cloaked Latvian witch kneeling in front of the young Franklin Richards in that scene. And it was just a beautiful lady the little boy was marveling over. Maybe even a variant of his mother. I'll get to that theory later. Either way, it's a fun theory to discuss and think about, but we do have to acknowledge that Matt Shackman did say that when the Russo brothers came into the set to shoot that post-credit scene, it was actually Robert Downey Jr. in Doom's costume, according to the director's interview with our friend Brandon Davis.
Did you do the credit scene?
Did I do the end credits?
Because I know Thunderbolts, the Russos did the credit scene.
The Russos did the tag. Yeah.
So was that Downey in the suit? Or I guess you weren't there, maybe.
Yes. Yes.
So getting back to the trailer, we see Sue Storm with a tear trailing down her cheek, and she goes on about Victor, saying he used to be kind, he used to be caring. There's a close-up of Ian McKellen as Magneto with long hair and a cut on his.
So he indeed was a friend for the family.
forehead in this shot, and there's a shot of Channing Tatum's Gambit and a shot of Steve Rogers bearded as he is in Monday's trailer. I was trying to figure out
So
Channing Tatum's Gambit and a shot of Steve Rogers.
So some talk about Captain, who is now Captain America. He say he will be a nomad in this movie. I do not know about comics. I didn't read any comics in my life, but nomad. What's that mean in this situation?
Rogers bearded as he is in Monday's trailer. I was trying to figure out where these characters are. It didn't look like Avengers Tower or the X Mansion. I think it.
Oh, it did.
Where these characters are. It didn't look like.
It's like the same. Oh, I remember. I don't know. It's just look the same for Tony Stark's building, but there is some no. Okay.
Avengers Tower or the X Mansion. I think it might actually be in the Baxter building of Earth 828. In fact, the same part of it in the year 1969 in that reality, where Sue walked back in from the kitchen area to see Franklin with Doom. The Fantastic Four cast said that they were shocked how many heroes were in this location. It sounds like everybody shows up here. And now Sue says about Victor, and then everything changed. Everything he loved was taken from him. And we see Victor back in his Doomsday castle looking up.
There's someone here with the stuff. Child, his child, his wife. I assume with this angel, so they dies. I do not know what is this fear, but what I do know, this their death makes him mad.
At his tapestry. Yes, the tapestry from the poster that they released on Monday. His bright green eyes focus on the child with the mother on the tapestry, which I think we can now see represents Doom's wife and his child. Then there's a shot of Namor and Shang-Chi and Shuri and M'Baku, Sam Wilson, and Thor here. I think they're also in this Baxter building location. As Sue says, I knew he was lost, but I did not realize that he was broken. So even thinking about the scene and how it fits into the movie, it's kind of an odd setup, because remember Monday's public trailer showed all the heroes having a similar group meeting led by Thor's speech in Avengers Tower. So why are there two big?
There is stuff here. I think they explain about 3 different Earth. I think like this 616 and this Earth for Fantastic Four and this Earth for X-Men, for say. I think. And they are now reaching point will they collab.
Similar group meeting led by Thor's speech in Avengers Tower. So why are there 2 big team meetings in this movie? Well, I actually think Thor's speech that we hear mostly via voiceover comes from this scene. In the earlier scene in Avengers Tower is just an initial debrief about the incursion crisis. Like at that point in the story, the characters won't know yet that it was this guy Victor Von Doom who was behind the incursions. But now in this scene with Sue telling them the real tea about who Victor was and now is, I think is actually coming later in the movie after the midpoint twist, after they've all suffered heavy losses, and after Doom has revealed himself as the true villain of the movie. I actually wonder if Ben or Reed might have already died at this point in the movie, because they're worryingly not in this shot. For that matter, died at true villain. Actually coming, don't know yet that it was this guy Victor Von out the incursion.
I do not think they are died or will die. Ben and why I think will why I do think they will not die, because Doctor Strange will be with Doctor Doom. I assume it, of course. I see some pictures that and see some YouTubers say in comics Doctor Strange will be with Doctor Doom. It's a decision that that he will do, had to do. So, in the side for our heroes, we need someone smart. So I think he will not die. About the thing, we need to see clash with the Hulk. It is thing in Marvel Rival that he says something about he the strongest, but don't tell the Hulk. So we will see They will clash and he will lose, but he will not die. Because why? Because the Mad Hulk will become, as I heard in Spider-Man movie. And after Spider-Man movie, we will see Avengers Doomsday. So the Hulk will be the Mad One.
Crisis like at that, but I think is actually heavy losses, and after Doom has revealed himself as the true villain of the movie. I actually wonder if Ben or Reed might have already died at this point in the movie, because they're worryingly not in this shot. For that matter, John Walker, Bucky Barnes, Red Guardian, Yelena Belova, Nightcrawler, Mystique, and Beast don't show up anywhere in this trailer. It's a lot of Sue, it's a lot of Reed, and it's a lot of Victor. There's a shot where the camera angles down on a hooded Victor Von Doom from overhead, as the floor shows the same circular pattern of runes that have appeared before the Latvian witches at the display I've been seeing all weekend. It seems like this is the floor that holds that throne. Now, there was no sighting of the 3 Latvian witches in this trailer, or really any place they could be. It is interesting that witches tend to come in 3s, and at the end of this video, I'll share what I think is going on with those. Now, after a few seconds of black in this trailer, there's a shot of a completely devastated city. I remember seeing all the skyscrapers in a state of ruin, and I do remember seeing a green area that might
It's of course will be New York. All aliens, all heroes, and all bad people, they will go to America. We're in America, of course, in New York.
Be a Central Park in the middle of the city. So maybe it's a version of Manhattan from some universe after an incursion has begun.
Manhattan.
But at first I remember seeing the shot and thinking, wait, is this the opening shot of Loki season 1 episode 5 that showed the cruddy looking skyscrapers of the void? I mean, maybe it is the same place, just with a better VFX budget. Then we get this close-up of Reed as he asks quietly, Victor, did you do this? And then Victor's green eyes just kind of sadly raise from under the mask to meet Reed's. So I think this is the moment in the midpoint when Reed realizes that the incursion crisis that they've been trying to work together to solve, maybe even a crisis that Victor has been offering his services to help them solve, was actually set into motion by Victor. And now Reed feels betrayed and terrified that this guy he thought he knew did the most horrific thing. We see the shot of Scott kissing Cassie's forehead from the Monday trailer, and a new angle of Johnny Storm hugging Franklin Richards. Yes, it is.
Yes, could be Franklin, his sister, or his Franklin Richards, his sister child. But I think there is explode. So I think Victor Doom he will succeed, and this explode is the planets. So yeah.
The same moment from the shot from the Monday trailer, but an angle that reveals that it is A, the same young actor who played Franklin in the Fantastic Four First Steps post-credit scene, and B, Franklin is not wearing the blue turtleneck that he was wearing in that scene. What he is wearing in the shot, I'm pretty sure, is like pajamas or something. It just struck me that that moment between Victor and Franklin probably does not lead to Doom kidnapping the boy, but rather it was the start of Victor coming to the family at first as a friend. But now when Johnny and Franklin are hugging, as I speculated in a video earlier this week, might be Doom's ultimate victory. As these characters are swept into Battle World, Johnny could be in the process of being turned into the fiery sun of Battle World. Or maybe Franklin is the one doing that, saving his uncle by using his power cosmic to warp his uncle's body into a form of something that brings light into this dark world, so that Franklin can later on, once he gets older, figure out how to restore him to a normal human form. There's a very quick shot of Professor X, and then even quicker shot of Magneto in his helmet, which looks kind of rusted and worn down. We hear,
you know what? It grow in me that this not explode. This one, this is when he transform into a sun.
And then even quicker shot of Magneto in his helmet, which looks kind of rusted and worn down. We hear Robert Downey Jr.'s Latvian accent again as he says, all of you have lived stolen lives, and now you must give them back. And over these words is a shot of Steve holding his baby from the first teaser, and Thor with love from the second teaser, and a shot of Loki from Monday's public trailer when he's visiting Steve Rogers in Steve's house, presumably to warn him that staying in the past caused an incursion that had huge consequences somewhere else, probably taking the lives of Doom's family. And I think it's kind of funny how we've all just been assuming that Steve staying in the past with Peggy Carter and I guess having a baby had some ripple effect that led to Doom losing his family. But have any of us actually nail down how that even works? Like, if Doom is from the 828 universe, why would some incursion caused by Steve doing this be localized and targeted to just Doom's family and not everyone else in the 828 universe? And how could it happen in a way that Doom would be able to know that it was Steve's fault? So what if we've been thinking about this all wrong? What if it was really just the natural order for Thanos to win, to dust half of all life in that reality? So when the Avengers undid that, the multiverse was like, well, several billion beings have to dust somewhere in the multiverse to balance things out. And then the multiverse just kind of randomly selected billions of others across various timelines to dust in the place of the people Hulk spared by bringing them back. And so two of those unlucky victims could have been Victor's wife and their kid. So Victor might not be specifically angry at Steve Rogers, but rather just kind of angry at all the Avengers, all the heroes from the 616 universe for doing what they did. That's why he's saying they are stealing lives that are not theirs and they may have to give those lives back. So why is Victor Von Doom magnetizing the cores of the 616, 828, and 10005 universes? Well, maybe just to merge the strongest realities and realities with reality warping anchor beings that he can use to build Battleworld and restore some semblance of his family. In this trailer, there's also one shot with Ava Starr, Shuri, and Joaquin Torres on one of the Fantastic Four ships looking completely devastated, and a new shot of Cyclops that looks like it's part of the open your eyes moment with the
I see big foot here. I think Dr. Van Doom come with an army for the X-Men.
Sentinels, but it seems like fire or embers or lava of some kind is pouring past him. And then a crazy shot of Dr. Doom smashing through the window of some kind of structure. I don't know if it was a building or like a parked ship that Reed Richards had built to help people escape the incursions, but I can 100% confirm that it was the exterior of whatever this interior set was from the set photo that showed Danny Ramirez, Evan Moss-Bachrach, Wyatt Russell, and the foot of Letitia Wright as Shuri. Whatever this is, Dr. Doom smashes out of to go fight Thor. And not only does he go out this window, he like speeds out of this window. He flips and lands super quickly in a confident superhero landing. And it's in this field where he's about to fight Thor. At this point, I don't know what this garden is with all the statues. I at first thought it was the outside gardens of the X-Mansion, but it could also just be another part of the void that's being assembled in the Battleworld. But we cut back to Reed now in his moment with Victor, where he's now angrier, grabbing Victor by the arms and shaking his shoulders, shouting, "Answer me, Victor, did you do this?" And we cut back to the location where Doom landed, the place he confronts Thor. The shot of Thor landing with Stormbreaker comes back from the Monday public trailer. Now, Thor didn't say anything in that other trailer, but in this trailer, Thor says this line, "I swear you will beg for hell long before I grant it." It's a pretty goddamn cold line to say to a guy whose mother is trapped in hell. But as Doom does in the other trailer, he stops Stormbreaker with 2 fingers from his
2 fingers and this rune.
Gauntlet with the magical runes. But now in this shot, Doom flings Stormbreaker out of Thor's hands, uses a sorcery to push the God of Thunder hard off of his feet into some rubble. We hear Doom respond to Thor saying, "Hell answers to me." Pretty goddamn good a response. But also, yes, this is a guy who has probably heard his mother screaming to him for help from hell. So hell, in a way, does answer to him. Doom now slams his fist into the dirt, and broken sentinels rise, their eyes glowing green. Now, I counted 6 sentinels here, at least 6. They're all rising to face their master Doom, the puppet master. Yes, this was some animation that we saw in some probably leaked VFX footage, but I'm guessing that leak was somewhat accurate, but it doesn't stop this shot from being freaking awesome and terrifying. What's also so sad about it is sentinels are not just like fun toys to play with. They're cruel weapons of mass destruction targeted at one subgroup. Oliver Trask built these things to just target mutants alone. Now Doom is using these awful things to just plague all of these heroes together. Now there was a bunch of—
That's what I said. They will destroy the X-Men, and after that he will use them against all the heroes, not only X-Men.
Other stuff we learned during this panel that helps contextualize what we saw in this trailer. For one, Haley Atwell joined the rest of the cast for the first time, I think. Like, we pretty much knew she would be in this movie, but this is the first time Marvel Studios confirmed it. And now that we know Loki visits Steve Rogers' house, we have so many questions about the Peggy of it all. Was she pruned to be that variant who was brought in the background of the Loki first episode? Well, I actually have a theory about those Latvian witches, because the color of that brown or burnt orange Latvian witch is the same color of Peggy's coat and skirt in the first Captain America movie. Could part of Doom's revenge plan be to take the wives of these heroes to replace the wife that he lost, and take variants of these women to serve him as his sorceresses, his Latvian witches?
So this one, Captain America, this one will be Richard's wife. But who is this one will be?
Peggy Carter could be the one in the brown. A Sue Storm variant could be the one in green, which would leave the one in purple to be potentially the wife of Scott Summers, Jean Grey, Famke Janssen. That's why the purple one looks the most royal, as we're talking
maybe.
about the Jean Grey of one reality. She is queen. Yes, Ryan Reynolds did appear in a denim Deadpool costume, Gene Pool as he called it, asking to be in the movie, but the cast and director seemed non-committal. I think he will be in Secret Wars, but we'll see, maybe sooner. Reynolds apparently walked the full Comic-Con exhibition floor in costume, and no one knew it was him. I love it. Anthony Mackie clarified that Steve Rogers is not Captain America in this movie, and even used the term nomad for him.
Steve Rogers is returning, not Captain America.
No. So in the comic book, Steve Rogers becomes
Allium chicken. Fresh, nutritious, healthy.
Nomad.
Offers is now streaming on Disney Plus.
Nomad.
Kevin Feige, in an interview with our boy Brandon Davis, defended the comparative buildup to Thanos to what seems to be the lack of buildup for Doom.
The Thanos buildup has built up in people's heads over the years.
I have to admit
he sat on a chair at the end.
I know.
He pulled the gauntlet out and said, "I'll do it myself."
Yep.
And he yelled at Ronan on a video screen briefly.
Sure did.
And that was kind of it. And I remember.
No. Since the start, the thing that terrified people is stones, which when it starts is we don't know what is this, like the dust rock. What is their name? So when he said I will do it myself, we all know there's weapons or things that it is dangerous. So it is built up from the start. Not as he just stay and okay, I will do it myself. No. The things that makes him terrifying build up him, not him building up the characters. What I mean, what make Thanos special, it is the gloves and the stones in it. The build up for Thanos is building up the stones, like the stone, the time stone, the space stone. They take time and build up for them. So when he claim the stones, claim the power, this is his build up. So yes, it is built up from the start.
The memes making fun of Thanos for just sitting in a chair, and all he does is sit on a chair, and there was a Twitter feed at the time about him updating every day, updating. I'm still sitting in my chair. I'm still sitting. It was more clever than that, but it was funny. And when we got to Infinity War, we said this is really the introduction of Thanos to people. That's really what we're doing. That's how that movie was built.
Yeah. No. As himself, yes. As what he can do with the power that make him dangerous, no. So for Thanos, for Doctor, he don't use the stones. He use his smart brain. He use some magic. So you need to build up him first, because his power not searching for the stones, not searching for stone that we understand it is powerful, like first Avengers, when the Tesseract open portal and army of aliens come to New York. No, we understand the dangers of this power, and Thanos come and take it. That's his build-up. But Dr. Van Doom, no, Dr. Doom, no, he used magic and his smart brain. So you need to build up those, which is mean his character.
That's what we're doing with Doom. That is the Doomsday is a introduction and the story of Doom. You peel the onion, you learn things about him as you go, and it is very much meant for audiences that know and love him from the comics, and audiences who have no clue who he is.
So as he said, I mean maybe, but that mean at least it will be 3 movies about him, which means 3 movies about Avengers. Avengers Secret Wars, Avengers in the Middle, Avengers Doomsday, Avengers Doomsday, some Avengers in the Middle, Avengers Secret Wars. Or 2 Avengers but long films.
Amazing actor David Johnson was announced as the new Black Panther in Black Panther 3. He's going to be a grown-up version of young Prince T'Challa Jr., aka Toussaint, who we saw in Black Panther Wakanda Forever. So there must be some time dilation effect where some of these kids are going to go to Battleworld and grow up very fast. And finally, Robert Downey Jr. showed up on stage wearing a jacket covered in Latvian letters. We actually started to get a sense of the Latvian lettering system from the Dom Latveria coffee pop-up at South by Southwest London. And yes, I translated at least what I could see. On the left pocket, I think that's the word justice. And then if you go over to the right pocket, I think that's the word revenge. The letters for the Dom Latveria kind of clump together specifically in a homophonetic way. But here they seem to be used for substitutive letters. So I think that letter that tends to repeat in the word revenge is just used for the letter E. And using that as kind of the substitutive base, you can go down to the lapel there and translate that to, there is no promise of tomorrow. Ooh, I love this version of Dr. Doom. Meanwhile, I didn't even notice this at first, but this Reddit post noticed the cuffs also have some phrases. On the right cuff, it spells to the victor, and on the left cuff, it translates to go the spoils. I saw the wordplay there, to the victor. Very, very clever. There's still so much more from Comic-Con that we want to break down in separate videos, so please subscribe to the New Rockstars channel, and thank you for supporting us.
Nice video. Thank you. I enjoy it. New Rockstar. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.